Cold just like hot. Cold just like hot. Cold just like hot. Cold just like hot. You need to stay off Tatooine if you can.
Hey, what's up everyone? Forever Legacy here, back again with another episode of Hoth. This week, it is week 43. And guys, I got a lot of work done this week. You can't really see behind me because that's where it is. But I got a lot done this week, including mountain work, cargo crates, some parts for the walker. Yeah, it's just been like a lot of work this week. And I'm quite happy what I got done. And I'm really excited to show you guys what actually the mock's looking like right now. I do want to quickly apologize for the Q&A video coming out way later than I really wanted it to. I mentioned in the last week's episode that it was going to come out on like Wednesday or Thursday, and it didn't come out until Saturday. I apologize for that. I actually just got a new editing software recommended by Jay, so I've been using that for most of the previous videos, and I really like it, but I recorded the video on Tuesday, and I edited it together, got everything situated, and for some reason, on Wednesday, when I started editing it together, for some reason, the editing process came out really wonky. It made the, I guess, the audio slower than the actual video. I don't know why it did that. I know because of the fact that I added those pictures into the actual video. I don't know why it did that, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't find out until later in the night after I got home from work, and I realized, okay, this doesn't work. I'll text Jay about it tomorrow. Tomorrow came, which was Thursday, and got to talking to him about it, and he's like, I can help you tomorrow, which was Friday. So Friday we got everything situated and got everything edited together and uploaded. So I do want to quickly apologize for that coming out way later. My goal is to have it, the Q&A videos to come out in the mid-week. You have the Hoth updates on the weekends, and then you've got the Q&A series in the middle. So that's my goal. Now that I've got everything figured out and fixed, it should come out just as when I say it should. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm really excited to show you guys what I got done, so let's get right into today's episode. Okay guys, so like I always do at the beginning of the video, I kind of give you an overview of what the mock's looking like, and this is how it is looking at the moment. So basically the main thing I got done this week was that little spot right there, which is kind of connected to the trench. You have the cargo crates, which I'm really excited to show you guys. I worked a lot on those, designing them, and then, of course, ordering the parts to get them in. I actually really like how they came out, as well as a big thing that, was done, of course, is the start of the mountain. And honestly, I actually, for a first time building a large mountain, this is actually coming out really well. It's about 3 slopes large right now. Like I mentioned last week, I got the exact height I want it to be, and that's where it is. It might seem shorter, then I guess it might seem a little lower than it needs to be. But I was talking to Jay about this Friday night, and we were kind of going over what the mountain would look like. And I went back and looked at the images from, I guess, outside the door or the Echo Base door and all that. And the mountain on it is actually completely white, which I was really shocked because I swore that there was some dark gray mixed into it. Maybe it was just smaller mountains or just Battlefront. But yeah, it is pure white, so that is correct. And another thing quickly, I do want to point out that this is going to be smaller than the walker. And for reasons that if I were to make the mountain taller than the walker, the height would probably go from here to all the way up here. And that's already this is already a lot of slopes and filler. So adding a chunk more because of the fact that I need it to be taller, I don't see it being that worth it. Plus going back, again, looking at that image, the mountain actually isn't that large. It's actually just kind of a smaller mountain, because of the fact that the bulk of the base is actually underground, not in the mountain. So for the most part, it is actually pretty much accurate being a, I guess, smaller mountain. So I'm not worried about the walker scaling next to this. Yeah, so the mountain's looking good. I'll turn around in just 1 second. Now, if you're curious why these two base plates are missing, they're just right here for the moment alongside those two base plates, or those two sections, I guess. They're off the table because of the fact that way I can move this around. And plus, I didn't really do much on that, as you can see. As well as you guys can get a nice look of those cargo crates. Before we move to the cargo crates or the little bit of mountain, I do want to point out that I did get enough white bricks and finished up that wall. So the white wall is pretty much completed, as well as I'm going to show that real quick. And yeah, let's get right into today's episode. Okay, guys, so onto this side. This is kind of a little area. Originally, I was going to do like this side on that one, kind of I guess, close the trench off and kind of just have it a walkway to the door. That's what I was originally going to do. But the issue was, as you can see, these slopes kind of go in all the way to the end. And so closing it off, I'd have to take up these. And I did, actually. But my friend James came over because we were going to do some building. And that's the day we got the cargo crates done. And then he built these two legs, which I appreciate the help. But he pointed out that it might look better if there's a little walkway and have like a door like that one right here, and that way there's two exits or entrances to the base in the trench. You've got that one for those troops, and then you've got this one for these guys. So that's what this is going to be. I'm gonna have this door kind of open. That way you can see like a rebel running out or running in, one of the two. And that's why there's like this the start of a black wall. Don't worry, it's not finished, not at all. But it's not finished at all. Of course, I got to build the door around it. But that's what I'm thinking. I started working on some like different, I guess, slopes for the sides. It's the same on, well, not the same, but it's got more slopes on that side. I did want to add one of the grates just there because of the fact that, you know, it gives a little nice look with more grading on in the trench, I guess. So that came out quite nicely. Again, it isn't finished, of course, because I have to mold it into the mountain, as well as fill this area in with multiple different filler and, of course, tiles and plates. But yeah, that was, other than working on that and then, you know, filling up the rest of the wall, that's pretty much what I got done on this side. I didn't really spend much on this side because of the fact of all the work that went on that side. So I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to quickly turn that mountain around and show you guys what that looks like, and then we'll get into the cargo crates. Okay, real quick before we show off the mountains, I might as well get through the cargo crates first. I actually really like how these came out. Now, if you're curious what these are, basically, I know they really weren't in the actual Echo base from the movie, but they were prominently seen in Battlefront, as well as a few other, I guess, newer Hoth-looking things. And honestly, I really like how they looked in the game, as well as the new concept. So I decided, okay, well, there's multiple of these throughout the base, or at least throughout the hangar, and so I decided, okay, I want some cargo in this to kind of give Echo Base more life, other than, you know, figures running around, snow speeders, and all that. I wanted some cargo crates, so it looks like more of a base, other than just figures and all. But yeah, that's how it scales to a minifigure. Taking this, for scaling, I actually did a pretty good job. And I'm not sure if these are exactly minifig scale, but they are pretty dang close, and I actually really, really like how they came out. These things weren't real in the game. In the game, as well in concept, they really weren't taller than the minifigure, but they definitely were larger. And I think they really scale well, as well as they look really cool with multiples next to each other. Like, I love the way how they look when they're stacked. Even separately, they're just really cool. Now, both sides are exactly the same, of course, since it is just a cargo crate. And honestly, these are actually pretty lightweight. They're very durable. But I really love how they came out, and I definitely decided that I'll probably be buying at least 5 more. I think minimum would be 10, maybe even less. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to have them in the actual hangar. But I really like how they came out. I spent like a couple days working on LDD, trying to figure out the exact angles, because for the angles, you had to get both the bottom and the top slanted. You had to have the sides slanted, and of course you had that little bit right there that was sticking out. It was interesting. I know it wasn't insanely hard. Like I said, I only spent like a couple days on it. But I came out with a design that I really like, and I love how they came out. So that's pretty much it for the cargo crates. Again, I'm going to be buying a few more, but probably not for a couple weeks or so. But yeah, I think that's it for the cargo crates. Let's move this mountain around and see what it actually looks like. Okay, so for the final part of today's video, I'm going to show you guys what I got done on the mountain. So, if you remember last week's episode, none of this was there. Except, I guess, that little bit right there that kind of outlined where I was wanting the mountain to be. But all that was started was a couple plates right here, as well as a few of the white plates that are under it. So, other than the plates around here and kind of a little chunk right here, there really wasn't that much done. So going from that, again, if you go back and look at what it looked like last week, going from that to this is actually pretty impressive in my opinion, because of the fact that a lot of filler went into this, because of the fact that I had to get it to the exact height that, of course, the actual battlefield and regular ground level was. So, and that's already like 4 bricks high. So you had all that brick under this, and then of course you've got more filler inside the mountain. And basically it is 3 slopes high, or I guess 3 of these slopes high, I guess. And honestly, I really like how this mountain is starting to look. Like, I know it's not finished, and I know it's not even close to being finished. This is kind of just, it isn't even at the full 1 base plate yet, and it still has 3 more. But honestly, I really like how how this side came out looking. Now, I do want to point out that I did start adding some of this. I had a bunch of those tiles left on hand, and I honestly don't think I'm going to have to buy too much more. I might buy a couple hundred more just to, just in case that I need any more. But as well as I got some of those in a small quantity. But I placed those down so you can kind of get a really nice look of what the mountain would look like next to the snow. Now, I do want to point out that this mountain is actually a stud higher, so it is actually on level with this, so it's not on level with this plate right here, which is 1 lower. The reason why I did that, and you can kind of see right here, so that plate is 1 less than that, because of the fact that since the plates and these tiles are the overall I can't speak, the overall ground height, making the mountain 1 lower might look a little odd, especially since it slopes, and I really like how it looks like all evened up. So I made a I figured out where the mountain's going to end, I guess. So that is the exact height. I don't plan on making it any higher. I think this is actually a really nice height. Again, like I mentioned in the beginning, the mountain isn't actually that tall, and I think it's a good height, especially next to a figure size. You still have all this to do. But basically, I kind of figured out where this kind of ends, and that's why there's a white line right there. So basically, right here between this and the mountain, this is all going to be filler. So that's kind of why I outlined it. That way I know, okay, I can't build anything in here. This specifically goes to the mountain, but anything past that I can deal with because of the fact that it's not part of the mountain, because that right here ends where that begins. So I kind of figure out what spacing I have left to work with, and that's just going to kind of continue well, it's going to continue to that point, and same on that. It's just going to continue. Now, I do want to quickly point out, this mountain actually came out a lot further outward than I actually, I guess, outlined in bricks. As you can see, there's actually a few studs away. What I did was I take up the slopes that I outlined and put down the plates and filler and all that, and then I'd replace them. But this just came out a lot farther out than originally planned, and I actually really like how this is coming out. I don't mind it being out further out. It just means we have a little bit more space in for Echo Base. Now, I do want to quickly point out that I did start working on some of the pillars or little dugouts for the snow speeders and vehicles in there. I did start doing that. It's not close to being done. My main issue is I'm worried that there isn't going to be too much space for them, but I'm going to try to fit. I'd like to fit at least 2 on each side. That's my goal. If I can't, what I'll probably end up doing is fitting 1 in and then maybe half of one. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out, and once it's figured out, it'll be good to go. But yeah, this area will be filled in soon. I am running really low on filler brick because of the fact that I had to raise it up to the regular height, and then of course using filler for that. So I am running really low on filler. Plates, I'm actually doing a decent job on keeping. I have all the white plates I need, as well as I still have a lot more of the gray, as well as a bunch of different plates that I still have to use. So I'm doing good on that, but I do need to figure out my filler brick situation, and I'll kind of get into it in the outro of today's video. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the mountain. I really love looking at that. I think it looks so nice, and I just can't wait for this mountain to continue. It's just gonna look. I can't stop loving how the mountain's gonna look. So I think that's gonna be it. Okay, guys. So that was today's episode of Building Hoth. So what do you guys think of the mountain, as well as the cargo crates and everything that was showcased today? I really want to hear what you guys think. But before I end off the video, I do want to quickly, I guess, say something. So this week, I haven't bought any parts before yet, because of the fact that I've been kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. So I've been kind of figuring out whether I want to buy the parts for the rest of the walker, which is basically the body, or do I spend the money on other things like slopes, filler, as well as other things. So I put all the parts for the walker in my cart on Bricklink just to see how much it would be. I'm not going to state how much it is, but it would take a lot of money. I'm going to point out it would take a decent amount of my money, and probably wouldn't leave me much with the actual Hoth mock. So I was trying to figure out this week. Luckily, I got to talk to Jay about this, and he gave me his opinion. And basically, if I did that, there would be nothing. There'd be stuff done on this, but not a lot done, because of the fact that most of my money went straight to that. But I could either do that, or I push the walker back a little while and specifically buy parts for the mountain and all. And Jay and I pretty much agreed that it'd be better to wait with a walker and buy parts for the mountain and all. He told me that thinking it as a better point, because of the fact that the walker can be bought anytime, because of the fact that there's instructions and there is a part list of how many things you need. Whereas for the mountain, I don't know how many slopes I need. I don't know how many filler I need. So he said that if I were you, I would finish off the mountain, finish off that, and then buy the walker, because of the fact that the walker could be bought pretty easily. So I agreed and decided, okay, let me push off the walker just a little bit. I'm not gonna wait till the last minute to buy the walker. Don't worry. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to specifically buy slopes for the mountain, filler brick, plates, and all that. And honestly, without spending money on the walker, which is kind of a change of pace because a lot of the previous weeks been buying parts for the walker, but it's gonna be a little change of pace because of the fact that a lot of money can actually go to this area and should be looking pretty nice as well as with all the parts that are going to be coming in. But I did want to quickly point that out. But I think that's going to be it. If you enjoyed, definitely smash that like button. And if you have any ideas or any opinions on what the mock's looking like, including the mountain and cargo crates, definitely let me know in the comment section below. As well as, if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe. We got some awesome videos coming along the way. And I will see you guys in next week's video.